Go download it on iTunes and let's run it up to #1 on the charts for President Trump.
So I just want to thank everybody very much. Thank you.
Get ready. You're about to get bombed by the truth bomber.
Didn't raise y'all, but I had to step up. Put the Ayatollah on a no-cap checkup. He calls me Daddy Trump. NATO knows what's up. Why they play pretend, I call they bluff. Kim and Vlad acting bad, throwing fits on the floor. BB screaming from the back, saying, Daddy, there's a war. I walk in like Sunday school.
Do you suffer in pain? Are you stiff, tense, or less active? Introducing the Easy Well Remedy Massage System, a triple fusion of therapeutic experiences. Full body vibrational therapy increases blood circulation and reduces inflammation. Infrared heat penetrates deep to reduce pain, soothe, and relax. The Ultra Shiatsu pillow with 6 heated nodes mimics a professional.
Welcome to Media Exposed. This week we're going to take a look at this shooting, a terrible shooting in New York City, and how the media covered that right away. We're going to have an interesting New York City mayoral candidate joining us. We're going to take a look at Sydney Sweeney, the American Eagle head, and the freakout from the left and the media over such a easy American-made company and such a easy, not even controversial ad. We'll take a look. We'll take a look at the Epstein saga. I wanted to get rid of that, but the media is infatuated with it, and how's Trump handling it. We're also going to take a look at Gaza. There's so much misinformation, so much news about it, starvation. What's the truth? We're going to try to get to the bottom of that. That and more are coming up on Media Exposed.
Do you dare to follow me down?
What they do say is fake news.
Head into the unknown.
That's how devious the media's become. They're full-force activists now.
They colluded. Trump folks were in on it.
Down the rabbit hole.
Sways elections, sways policy. We need to expose them.
Republicans trash the country.
Where it stops, no one knows. We're going.
I've been doing this since I was 18. I've had hit jobs done against me. I've been attacked by media reporters. Am I afraid? No. Truth will prevail. Fake news media, we're here to call you out.
Head into the unknown.
Media Exposed with Adam Weiss starts now.
Welcome back to Media Exposed. There's an awful shooting in New York City. We're going to take a look at crime in New York City and the mayoral race. We have an interesting candidate joining us. But right off the bat, CNN had to jump in it and say, the guy, the shooter, was probably white. Meanwhile, there was a big photo of him that he wasn't white. I want to welcome my first guest here, Joseph Hernandez, first time joining, CEO of Blue Water Venture Partners, and he's a New York City mayoral candidate. Joseph, thanks for joining us. Very attractive candidate. I wanted quickly, because I read the bio, you're a refugee, your parents were political prisoners in Cuba. You are what the American dream is, right? Entrepreneur, biotech entrepreneur, healthcare entrepreneur, started, invested in a lot of companies. You're almost the opposite of what Mandani is, an actor whose parents were famous movie producers, I think, and he was an actor. He's a really good actor, it seems like, because even early in the week, his press conference, when he rushed back from Uganda, and he said, he is supporting the police. Meanwhile, you look at his track record, it's pretty terrible. But tell us quickly about your campaign and your story. I want the audience to know about it in New York City.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you having us on your show, your great show. I'm honored to be here. Just a little background on myself. I'm an immigrant. I came here when I was 7 years of age. My parents my dad was a political prisoner. He was thrown in prison by the Castro administration, and we came to this country with nothing. My father washed dishes. My mother cleaned houses, and they taught us to work hard, to get educated, and to love this country. And they said, if you do all those things, good things will happen to you. And I have been so lucky. I've attended the best schools in the world. I have built 12 different companies, and we brought 5 of those public. the one that we just brought public about four weeks ago. We were quite excited. We rang the bell on NASDAQ. I mean, I am the American dream, and that this is only possible in this amazing country and in this amazing city. So I'm so grateful, and I'm just trying to do my little part to pay back to this great society that's given me so much.
You know, the Cubans always seem to be more conservative. I remember back even when I was really young, and I noticed the Cubans loved George W., the father, Bush, Reagan, and the rest of the Hispanic community wasn't as much more. They become a little bit more conservative under Trump. He drove more Hispanics, but the Cubans were always more for freedom, opportunity, coming to America, you know, understand the American dream. So good for you. I'm glad the success story. I'm glad you got here. But I want to play this clip. It's cut one here. Let's go. It was Cuomo right on CNN the day after. He was talking about Mamdani, the day after the shooting midweek. I want to show you this.
Do you think your opponent, Zohran Mamdani, would a Mayor Mamdani help or hurt the morale of the NYPD?
Well, look, if you look at his prior statements, I think it would definitely hurt. Literally, he has said he was part of this defund the police movement. He has said that the police are a threat to public safety, that they are racists, that he would dismantle the police department. So these are all very harsh statements. I think it would be very hard to recruit police. Who would want to work for a mayor who basically did call the police officers racist? I think he would aggravate what is already a bad situation. And I don't think he understands the importance of the NYPD and the importance of public safety, you know. And something like this happens, and then it really is a reality check for all this political theory and political hype that we have going on in this country.
You know, Joseph, I came back, I live on Central Park South, and was going to walk my dog, and there was an ambulance across the street in the park. They took this homeless person, they put him in the ambulance, and I went to walk the dog. 10 minutes later, they put him out on the stretcher, and he was dead. He died. I said, what kind of city puts someone in an ambulance, then they pick him back on the ambulance, and 15 minutes later, the cops waited with the yellow rope, the yellow tide, and he died. What kind of sane society? It seems like whatever Eric Adams, who is the current city mayor, pretends that the city's all lovey-dovey and all great these days, and it's not. So I hope we give somebody like you another shot, more people, because Cuomo's a known quantity, Eric's a known quantity, and neither one of them seem to be making dents into Mamdani. What's your thoughts on the city right now?
Well, first of all, I agree with Andrew. I actually just came back from Officer Islam's funeral, and I sat next to Cuomo, and we chatted a little bit about this issue and really the challenge the city has. Look, public safety is number one. You have to have a city that's safe, that people feel that they can walk the streets. The city, since I've been here since 2011, it's decayed. The quality of life has decayed. The police morale is on the ground. I can tell you because I've interviewed police officers. They just want to do their time, get their pension, and get the heck out of Dodge. That is not good morale. We don't support them. We don't have their back. When they arrest someone, the revolving doors of the bail system that we have just really decreases morale. And an incident like this where you need good leadership, and you need leadership so it's going to have your back, because listen, cops, it's a really hard job and it's a thankless job. We have to support them. And I am concerned, like Andrew, that Zohran is not going to be that supportive of the police. I mean, I think his digital signature is quite clear. He doesn't like the police. He wants to defund it. He wants to add mental health professionals in lieu of police. And we all know that in the city of New York, where we have 8.8 million people, there's some bad people here, and we need to have the police. We need to make sure that they have the resources that they need. We need to make sure we pay them appropriately. I have a plan that calls for another 10,000 police officers in the city to really bring the quality of life up. Without quality of life, nothing else matters. Free rent, all this other stuff he's talking about is irrelevant. You got to have safety first. And that is what I'm focusing on. And, technology is a big piece of that. In this particular incident, which occurred about 6:27 p.m. In the 345 Park Avenue block, which I was actually nearby. The gunman came out, and there was about 60 seconds or so where this guy was walking effectively on the street. If we had had AI technology that would have picked up that gun, we would have quickly brought in the equivalent of the SWAT team in New York City, which is an elite force. They would have been able to intervene. Those doors would have been locked in the buildings and the surrounding areas. We would have been able to communicate to everybody within a mile radius of that incident to alert them of the shooter. Technology has a role to play in our safety as well, so we can't dismiss that. But you got to have morale. The police have to be supported, and they have to have politicians back. And right now, they don't.
Yeah, I don't know what Eric's doing because I live on 6th, and every time I make a left on 7th Avenue between 59 and 58, there's 4 homeless people sleeping there. One of them screaming. It's like 4. If people don't know New York, a block is very short. It's not an avenue. To 4. And you walk down 5th Avenue, 40s and the 50s, there's homeless people everywhere. So this guy running for re-election, his record's there. That's why he's not moving at the polls at all. I want to play this clip quick. Cut 2, because CNN right away accused the gunman of, let's go to cut 2. Watch this.
For at any given time.
All right. So, Brian, stay with us. The former deputy director of the FBI, Andy McCabe, is with us as well. And Andy, I just want to ask you talk about a 44-story building, as Brian is reporting. And what John Miller just said, there were a few things that really stood out there. Among them that they do know what he looks like. Sunglasses, mustache, male, possibly white. And
the guy's name was Shane Devin Tamura. I don't know why CNN did that, but that can cause real damage in a chaos situation like that. Give me your final thoughts, Joseph.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I think New York leaders and the media have a tendency to want to divide people. That is their modus operandi, and it's unfortunate because if you really look at New York City is a melting pot of people. We have 176 countries represented in this little city from a geographic perspective. So to stereotype that this shooter was white is just unnecessary. It's meant to inflame the public, and it doesn't do anything with regard to.
It's irresponsible with CNN, and thanks for joining us, Joseph. We'll have you back on soon, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Thank you, Joseph. Good luck.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Stand up. Coming up next, the lefties lose it over Sydney Sweeney and her jeans. Or is it jeans? That and more coming up on Media Exposed.
Leaky refrigerator coil card.
Oh no.
But your future is bright with an American Home Shield warranty to protect your covered home system. Don't worry, be warranty.
Yep, your worst nightmare. Your car broke down. Now you're worried if it's going to cost you a fortune in repair bills. Unless you already called Car Shield, the legit #1 auto protection company in the country. When you're protected with a plan through Car Shield, the process is smooth like ice and done in as little as 3 steps. 1. First, the tow truck takes your car to the shop. The cost of towing, covered when you got a plan through Car Shield. Next, you probably need to get around while your vehicle's being repaired, right? 2. Plans through Car Shield have rental car options too. Then comes the best part. 3. When you pick up your vehicle, you don't have a big repair bill to worry about. Car Shield administrators get your covered repairs paid directly to the shop, so you're back on the road with no worries. Call now to get an affordable plan through Car Shield for your vehicle before it's too late. When you call Car Shield, whether you got a small problem like a power window motor that could cost a few $100s, or a big problem like an engine or transmission that could cost you thousands of dollars, you're taken care of. Car Shield is the #1 auto protection company in the country, and their administrators have paid out more than $1 billion in auto repairs. That's billion with a B. Car Shield is the choice that gives you the Car Shield guarantee. Your rate never goes up, and your coverage never goes down, no matter how many claims you have. Look, it's inevitable. As your car or truck ages, the parts and components are gonna fail. It's not worth the risk. Call CarShield now.
Waiting until your car breaks down is too late. Call CarShield for coverage on up to 5,000 parts and get the CarShield guarantee, where your rate never goes up and your coverage never goes down, no matter how many claims you have. Call 800-653-8201. 800-653-8201.
Why aren't you getting results? Random workouts, overtraining muscles, completely missing others, wasted time. Don't do that. Do this. This is 25 Minutes Speed Train. Follow me for just 25 minutes a day, 7 days a week, with minimal equipment, and get actual results.
Look at the definition. I didn't have these arms at high school.
Subscribe to Body in the next 24 hours for less than 50 cents a day and get 25 Minute Speed Train free at bodywithaneye.com.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
Just when you thought the woke culture war was coming to an end, not so fast. The left thinks jeans are Nazi propaganda. Can't make this stuff up, folks. Sydney Sweeney wears American Eagle denim and the left loses their mind. They see patriotism and call it fascism. She triggered them by looking sexy, confident, and American. No politics, no agenda, nothing in the commercials political. Just a beautiful woman in jeans. That alone set off the woke mob. Woke activists hate tradition, hate American tradition. And self-reliance. They can't stand anything that feels strong, normal, or pro-American. They want submission, not style. They want weirdness, not normal in our society. Silence isn't safe in Hollywood anymore. Sydney didn't even say anything. She just existed outside their narrative, and that was enough to get them smeared. If denim and flag offend you, the problem is this isn't about you. It's a simple ad. It's about a movement that hates what America stands for. I want to welcome my next guest, Martha Bonita Fain. She's a strategic advisor for Vote America First. Martha, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Adam, for having me on your show.
Martha,
look, this is one of the...
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is one of the reasons why President Donald John Trump got elected, because the American people are so tired of the left taking offense to strong, beautiful, patriotic people.
Exactly. And I want to, and going back in the day, and it might be a Gen Zer, you might be, but back in American days, in the 80s and 90s, this was a perfectly fine commercial. We were patriotic, whether it was the Marlboro Man or a beautiful woman, and there was no qualms about it. Now we can't even run a simple commercial, get back to normal commercial. It seemed like through the last decade or more, we had these woke commercials where making the traditional family look like fools, men look like bozos. It was tough we had to shove so much diversity in commercials. I always said part of culture is the advertising industry, Hollywood, the media. And the advertising industry plays it good because you see that every night in the commercials. And they were banging on our heads about this diversity and gay couples being together and just throwing it down our throats. But I want to go to this cut 3. Let's watch this. It's woman says the American Eagle City Train brought her child trauma back. Watch this.
I really wasn't going to weigh in on this, but here we go. It is so difficult to grow up as a person of color, specifically a woman, and view yourself as beautiful in any sense of the word growing up in this country. I remember growing up in a predominantly white community, wishing myself out of this body, out of this culture, take my name, if it meant that I could wake up blonde-haired and blue-eyed, never having to explain who I am or worry about being accepted. That is why this American Eagle ad with Sydney Sweeney is especially off-putting. There's a lot of rhetoric right now online about the political ideologies that this represents, and I don't discount that, but for me, I can't help but think about the 13-year-old brown girl who gets all her denim at American Eagle, who already struggles to see her beauty and worth in a world that continues to value white, Eurocentric beauty standards, which I naively thought by this point we would have moved the needle on. And this girl...
that girl is beautiful, so I don't know what she's complaining about, right? This is what we have,
Absolutely.
A generation of spoiled TikTokers and Instagram complaining because there's a white woman. Are white women not allowed to be in ads, Martha?
Well, Actually, if anybody remembers, the most iconic jeans commercial in the history of our country was Brooke Shields.
Right.
Brooke Shields had these beautiful, very sexy commercials where she would say, "Nothing comes between me and my Calvin Klein jeans." I don't know if you remember those ads, Adam, but it's reminiscent for me of the Brooke Shields ads. And there's nothing wrong with being a beautiful, strong, patriotic woman.
Exactly. And look at the way the media covers it. You have these spoiled little people on TikTok. This is the way culture moves and the media moves. They play games with the psyche to destroy tradition, to destroy our values. We fought so hard. Like you said earlier, we fought so hard to Trump win because this wokeness was driving people crazy. It's one of the reasons why Trump won, obviously. We need some tradition back in our lives. And if you have a few people on TikTok, a few people on Instagram complaining, and then the media picks it up. I just want to show you this cut, what Good Morning America said about this. Let's go to cut 4.
We begin with the backlash over a new ad campaign featuring actress Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, the ads are for American Eagle, and the tagline is, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes." Now, in one ad, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress talks about genes as in DNA being passed down from her parents.
The play on words is being compared to Nazi propaganda with racial undertones.
The pun, good genes, activates troubling historical associations for this country. The American eugenics movement in its prime between like 1900 and 1940 weaponized the idea of good genes just to justify white supremacism.
Crazy, Martha, that Good Morning America could reach 4 or 5 billion people. Actually said people are comparing this to Nazism. Who? 3 people on TikTok? But yet they spout it out. They could reach millions of people, and they twist people's minds. It's irresponsible. It's unethical, and those people should be getting in trouble just for doing that on Good Morning America. Give me your thoughts on that.
Well, they underestimate the American people. I mean, the American people are smart and savvy, and they won't tolerate that. I mean, also, this ad is a celebration of being healthy and fit. I mean, Sydney Sweeney is a healthy, fit, beautiful, strong, patriotic, America-loving woman. And the left, when they do these outrageous, outlandish, anti-American sentiments towards beautiful advertising like this, it really degrades them and makes them look bad. And I have to say that, number one, these are great genes. I have a pair myself and I love them. And I want to see more Sydney Sweeney ads. And I welcome the celebration of strong, beautiful, patriotic women. And to the left lunatics that continue to make fools of themselves like this, it only continues to celebrate why Donald Trump is in office, because the American people won't tolerate this craziness anymore.
But what has the left hasn't kind of like screwed up, messed up, even somewhat destroyed? The modeling agency, commercials, advertising. So recently, it was the summer, beginning of the summer, after Memorial Day weekend, I went back to Miami for Swim Week. Swim Week is what's Fashion Week is, bikinis. And they have all these events, influencers, content creator. Sometimes I call myself a content creator. But, and then one of the shows was Sports Illustrated. And there were 4 hefty people, 4 hefty women. I'm talking about 250, 300 pounds. And people are clapping. They've been red pilled. You know what that means? They've been submitted to say, that's good and that's healthy. And we have to smile and make it. I'm like, I said to the person next to me, what is she doing up there? It's not supposed. She said, oh, that's so nice. So we punch people so hard that they just go along with it. It's silly that they're still doing this, Sports Illustrated. But I think Sports Illustrated hurts their brand, and Victoria's Secret's hurt their brand by playing this wokeness, this silliness, and telling people that's okay to be 250, 260 and have models like that when it's not, right? What are your thoughts on that?
It's not. And I'm so grateful to this administration that's making America healthy again. I mean, being morbidly obese is not healthy. We're the greatest nation on earth. And yet, historically, we have had an obesity problem in our population. And I'm so grateful to Secretary Bobby Kennedy for everything he is doing to make sure that the food our children are eating in the school system is healthy. And again, to your point, being morbidly obese does not represent a healthy lifestyle. And you're right. I mean, you know, the celebration of these beautiful models, it's also a celebration of fitness and the discipline it takes and the healthy lifestyles. And I welcome seeing beautiful women advertising products, and we should celebrate that, and we shouldn't criticize them. And, you know, the left wants to say that they're the party of women, but they're not. Because if they were, they would lift up and celebrate this beautiful ad by this highly accomplished woman.
I'm going to show you this cut here. It's the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian. They're like far left, these guys, but even they can't take this wokeness, this craziness. Let's just cut 5 here.
If they were talking about how white people and only white people or all white people have good genes, I'd be like, whoa, what the hell is that? Okay, maybe eugenics, all that stuff. But white people are also allowed to have good genes.
No, not allowed.
Right. If you say only white people, that's crazy, right? But if you say no, if you're going to do an ad, and my guess is if they were going to do this ad 2 years ago or 5 years ago, they would. This is why it's an interesting topic. I think they would not have put a white person in that ad. I think that they would have had a conversation with the advertising executives, et cetera, and they would have decided, people will say that we're being racist or eugenics or Nazi or something. So if we're gonna say someone has good genes, we should make it a minority. Okay, that's my guess. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have a pretty decent read of that culture, okay? So now white people are also allowed to have good genes, okay? And folks are saying,
so crazy.
Guys, it's a play on words. It's a play on words. If this is the hill you're choosing to die on, you're doing great damage. So because it annoys everyone.
Yeah, it does. It does. It is annoying. It's incredibly annoying.
Hank says it well. The Young Turks is very left, but if this is the hill you're going to die on, you know, it's absolutely ridiculous because he's right. For so long, they didn't even have a white person in advertising. It was like diversity 101 is every single ad almost. Give me your final thoughts on that, Martha, before we go.
Well, I welcome the opportunity to see more of these ads, and I agree with the show, the show you just put on. We may not agree politically on many things, but we absolutely agree on this point. Don't die on this hill. We want to celebrate beautiful, healthy women. And just because you're a beautiful white woman with blonde hair, blue eyes, that doesn't mean that you are a Nazi. That's the most outrageous statement that can be said. And bring on more beautiful women advertising blue jeans.
Martha, I want to thank you for joining us. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Up next, we're going to talk Epstein. I wanted to get that out of the news, but can't help it. The media is all over Trump. They won't let it go. Let's find out how he's talking and fighting back on this and what the media is saying about it now. That and more coming up on Media Exposed.
The poverty is unimaginable. There are people who are struggling.
This is where she washes the dishes.
If you're ever going to allow your Christian faith to rise and to do something for God's chosen people, now is the time.
This is the home of Galina. She's 96 years old.
This is what she had to eat for today.
She has one pot with water and wheat.
My father was killed by the Nazis, and I was an orphan. I didn't know about God. But now, in the cold, hungry nights, I pray for food to the God I've never known. There are good people that love you.
You see the tears. Scripture says joy can come in the morning, and you can be the reason.
Right now in Ukraine, elderly Jews are trapped in unbearable poverty. If you will bless these hurting children of Israel, you will receive God's blessing in return. Your urgent gift today of $25 will help rush a survival food box filled with life-saving essentials. Call, scan, or go online now.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, I don't know how much longer she could have waited for us to come.
I can't even grow my food anymore. What will happen to me? I'm doomed to starve.
Tens of thousands of elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union are living in extreme poverty, hungry, and forgotten. But through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, we can bring them hope.
Eggs. It's my favorite food. May you be blessed.
You say to them, we see you and we're here to help.
Please don't delay. Call, scan, or go online now.
Rav Family, from the group who brought you the hit songs 81 Million Votes, My Ass, MAGA Nation, and Trader Joe, comes a brand new single. Daddy Trump is available everywhere, and we need you to make some noise. Go download it on iTunes, and let's run it up to #1 on the charts for President Trump.
So I just want to thank everybody very much. Thank you.
Get ready. You're about to get bombed by the Truth Bomber.
Didn't raise y'all, but I had to step up. Put the Ayatollah on a no-cap checkup. He calls me Daddy Trump. NATO knows what's up. Why they play pretend, I call they bluff. Kim and Vlad acting bad, throwing fits on the floor. BB screaming from the back, saying, Daddy, there's a war. I walk in like Sunday school.
Welcome back to Media Exposed. The media wants you to think that MAGA is still obsessed with Epstein. But I don't think they are the ones. The media are the ones. The media is not anything to put a plug or get Trump and manipulate his words, manipulate his actions. They want to keep the story alive. They only care about Epstein when they can tie it to Trump. Clinton, 20 some odd times on the plane, no questions, nothing, no stories. Hollywood, no stories. The tech billionaires, silence. But a hearsay claim about Mar-a-Lago, suddenly it's wall-to-wall coverage of doing whatever they can to trip up Trump. After a brilliant trip, brilliant deals he made with European leaders, opening a big golf course, and this is what they've asked him on the way back. If Trump did anything nefarious, it would have come out by now. But no, the mainstream media is desperate to keep it up the witch hunt in a sad attempt to take the president down, twist his words, and spread their own conspiracy theories. Let me welcome David Zier, our next guest, the host of Breaking Point, joining us as always. Dave, thanks for joining us. Dave, I didn't want to do this topic again, but it was bombarding him all week about Epstein. And I'm trying to figure out what they're bombarding him about. You know, he takes this word and says, I got rid of him because he kept stealing my people. What do you mean by stealing your people? We're all in business. We know what he means by stealing the people. The guy went and stole employees, and that's a no-no, right? But they'll twist his words over and over just to trip him up with Epstein. But let me ask you the first question here. After that Access Hollywood tape in 2015-16, when he said something to Billy Bush, they went and digged and found that tape and had NBC give it to them just to get Trump and make sure he didn't win. If they had anything on Trump and Epstein, you don't think the deep state, Hollywood, the culture would have put it out there already? What's your thoughts, David?
Oh, 100%. He would have been a goner. And, you know, I was watching MSNBC in a hotel in Palm Beach this weekend. You know, they kept playing this picture of Trump standing next to Epstein on a loop throughout the whole show. It was about a 15-minute segment. And they kept like repeating the same two pictures, actually. And I just kept saying to myself, what about the 15 times that Bill Clinton supposedly ditched the Secret Service and, you know, to fly on the Lolita Express and maybe has been to Epstein Island 28 times? You know, they didn't show any pictures of Bill Clinton there. It was just, you know, just your typical nonsense.
But let's play this first clip, cut 6. Trump early in the week, after this fantastic trip, negotiating with European leaders at his own golf course. Imagine that. You're in Europe, you're in Scotland, you're in the UK, you would bring the Prime Minister of the UK over, of Great Britain, other Prime Ministers, and then negotiate his golf course because he's opening his golf course. It's all on Trump's turf. It's amazing. And then he stopped the Asian conflict, and he's flying back, and this is what they're asking him about. Let's go to cut 6.
Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously. Just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Were some of them
young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
What did they do?
In the spa.
Jobs. In the spa.
Yeah, it's people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no...
David, after that little scrum and those questions, CNN went wall to wall with that midweek, MSNBC. And they were analyzing, what does he mean by taking? Was it females? Who was it? It was simple. I told the guy, don't take my people. In plain language, that means don't take my employees. They're my employees. He was a member there. He shouldn't be going down to the spa and hiring his people on the spot. That's a no-no. He gave him it's a simple, but they want to twist his words. And what do you mean by that? It's so ridiculous, isn't it? You're a businessman, David, your whole life. It's a basic business rule. Don't take my people, right?
It's just nomenclature, right, in the business. But I got to say, instead of focusing on the $600 billion that Trump's bringing back, reinvestment in America, from Europe, this is all they've got. And they're trying to get him in an aha gotcha moment, right?
Exactly. Let's go to cut 7, where Trump calls out the other president, who really should be the one they should be focused on. Let's go to cut 7 here.
And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard, and many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island. Yeah.
President Trump says he never visited Jeffrey Epstein's private island. Listen.
I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island.
They used to call CNN the Clinton News Network. That was, one and only, because it was as big. It was basically the arm of the Clinton administration. But you notice, to this day, they cut out the part where he says, they played Trump's clip, but they cut out the part where President Trump said, why Bill Clinton went there 28 times. Typical CNN, right?
Yes, and I don't remember CNN back in the 90s investigating the alleged activity of Bill Clinton jogging early in the morning with his security when he was the governor of Arkansas and paying a prostitute and having sex with her in the bushes. They don't talk about any of that, and the state troopers rounding up women by the fistful for Bill Clinton and all of his activities in the White House. Some of that has not been, discussed. So, this is the double standard from CNN, and that's why their viewership is at an all-time low.
It's really like, you look at this situation, and Trump did everything he should have done. He got rid of the guy out of Mar-a-Lago, which is rare. You throw people out of a private country club. It's rare, very hard to get into a private club, and nobody ever really gets thrown out. He threw him out for his behavior. That's not even celebrated in the media. They're trying to catch him on every little nook and cranny. What do you mean he took your people? It's so silly what they're doing, but they keep it in the news. That's why we need to discuss it here. But if you had to give some advice to the president, What would you tell him about this Epstein story, and what would you tell people on the conservative side?
Turn the page. You know, people are hurting across this country right now, and the economy is not great, and it's getting better, but it's a slow crawl. And until interest rates are lowered, kids can't buy a house. And that's why you see the rise of Mamdani and the guy in Minneapolis who's a 35-year-old, Democratic socialist. These guys are rising to power because the young people can't function in society. They're not getting high-paying jobs out of college, and they're really hurting. So, we have to focus on this. This is real. We're going to lose New York. We're going to lose Minneapolis, which is probably already gone. We have to move on from this. And I know there's new footage, possibly of a guy in an orange jumpsuit or something in the back stairwell to the entrance of Epstein's cell. I mean, if anything comes out that changes the dynamic of the story, put it out there. But we can't keep beating the dead horse.
They're so obsessed on a story that he's been gone for a long time. They were never obsessed when he was here, right? But now all of a sudden he's gone because it's anything that we can get our claws on, figure it out to actually make Trump look bad. And it's basically silly what the media does, but this is their MO. They're always doing it. And then you're right. This New York City race is scary because it's the capital, the commerce capital of the United States. And we basically have a communist, a guy who's an actor. He's 33 years old. His parents were big producers of Bollywood, and he might become the next mayor. He's up by 20 some odd points because we have a class of young people that are lost. They've been indoctrinated in colleges. They can't buy a home because we're taught all this junk anyway. So how do you see that race playing out in New York? Because Curtis is in it, Cuomo's in it, the incumbent mayor's in it. I had an early candidate in it on the show, Joseph Hernandez. How do you see, can anybody you think Mamdani's going to win right as of now?
I do think he's going to win, unless the anti-Semitism stuff catches up with him in the next 60 days, which is very possible that it will. But this is a cakewalk for him at this point. There isn't one candidate who can beat him head to head. The only way he can lose is in a 4 or 5 way race, as far as I see it. It's messy. It's messy. And, listen, to get back to Epstein really quick, if this was Clinton throwing him out of his country club, it would be like, Clinton's a hero. He got rid of a pedophile, So, this is their MO, right?
Exactly. Dave, I want to thank you for joining us. I'll see you soon, and keep up the good fight.
Thank you.
Up next, we're going to talk about Israel, the Jews, Hamas, and what about the starvation? Is it really happening with this aid? That and more coming up on Media Exposed.
Let your voice be heard. Where can you get exclusive RAV content and interact directly with all of our great show talent? Join the brand new RAV social community at rav.social. Use special promo code RAVFAM to get your first month of the RAV social community membership free.
Thinking about Medicare? Think AMAC. Medicare can be complicated, but AMAC makes it simple. Our licensed agents provide free, unbiased guidance to help you find the plan that best suits your needs. But that's not all AMAC has to offer. AMAC is America's leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization, guided by the principles of faith, family, and freedom. So when it comes to Medicare and so much more, think AMAC.
How does the world's most trusted dog expert keep his own dogs so healthy?
Hi, I am Cesar Milan. In my 20 years rehabilitating dogs, I've seen too many struggle with health problems that no amount of training could fix. Then I discovered it wasn't the dog, it was their food. Fortunately, I found veterinarian Dr. Marty's anti-kibble breakthrough.
Nature's Blend is packed with whole foods that are freeze-dried, locking in nutrients.
I saw remarkable improvements in my dogs within weeks.
Try Dr. Marty risk-free for 90 days. Plus, get a free gift when you call or visit drmartypets.com/Caesar.
Water, nature's ultimate cleaner. We drink it, we bathe in it. Think water, think steam, think clean. Now harness the power of water with the H2O X5 5-in-1 steam cleaning system.
I'm so impressed with the X5. It's an all-in-one product, so I can use it throughout my entire house.
It's cleaning, it's sanitizing, there's no chemicals in it. It's just steam.
This is unbelievable. There is no more odor.
5 minutes, I'm done. Look at that, it's amazing.
If you're ready to step into an effective, economical, and eco-safe world of cleaning, look no further than the H2O X5. Using just the power of superheated water, the X5 Super Hot Steam cleans and kills up to 99% of germs, viruses, and bacteria. You could spend over $500 to purchase the products that the X5 5-in-1 Miracle replaces. But through this special TV offer, you won't spend $400, $300, or even $200. Order your H2O X5 steam cleaning system, a $500 value, for just 4 easy payments of $43. You'll get the X5 steam mop with microfiber pad, the carpet glider, the handheld scrubber, the window glass and mirror attachment, and the garment and upholstery bonnet. It's a complete 10-piece system, all this for just 4 easy payments of $43. But it gets even better. Order now and we'll upgrade your X5 package. We'll add a 6th mode with a dusting and polishing wand. Valued at over $30, this extra bonus attachment makes your H2O X5 the H2O X6. That means your 10-piece system becomes a 12-piece system at no extra cost to you. If after 30 days you're not absolutely delighted, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price. Don't wait. Now's your chance to own the X5 for just 4 easy payments, and we'll make the first payment for you. You get the X5 incredible 5-in-1 lightweight, powerful 12-piece steam cleaning system, a $500 value, all for just 3 easy payments of $43. This offer can't last forever, so call or click right now.
Welcome back to Media Exposed. The media is still quoting Hamas as the source for the health ministry. CBS and others keep parroting Hamas propaganda as fact. Terrorists are not a trusted source. Face it. Many of the Gaza photos are misleading, and they know it. The New York Times got caught using a stage image of a child who's very thin from illness, not starvation. This isn't reporting. They wanted it purposely so. It's the Israelis' fault, Jews' fault, and look what's happened to this young, starving child. Meanwhile, it was ill. It's war propaganda. Hamas is why Gaza is starving, period. They hide behind civilians, they steal aid, and use hospitals as bases. Blame them, not Israel. The press is covering for terrorists again. Reuters, AP, the New York Times, all cropping out the rocket launchers and tunnels. It's not journalism, it's complicity. I want to welcome my next guest, Ari Ackerman. She's a Jewish activist, entrepreneur, and really a great sort of fighter. You should also follow him on Instagram for the Jewish people, Israel. Ari, we could do this segment, and it's almost the same segment we'd be doing 2 years ago. The news media hasn't changed a dime. This might be worse, because I remember the very beginning of the war, they said, Israel's bombing a hospital and killing people. And meanwhile, it was like 3 hours later, it wasn't even a hospital. It was Hamas in some building. But this is what they do, the media, and I'm glad you fight out for it, too. So this whole thing about the starvation, this war could end tomorrow if they just gave the hostages back, right?
This is the narrative's completely backwards. And that's why in my post, I call the New York Times all the news that blames the Jews. Because that's all they want to do is they want to report on things where they're blaming Israel, they're blaming the Jewish people, and that's what sells newspapers. That's what gets the clicks. And it's a really disturbing world we're living in. This picture, and I felt bad for the child. It was horrible, but it wasn't a starvation issue. That child had a muscular disorder. And, the New York Times put it on the cover of their newspaper as if they're showing the world that this is what's happening in Gaza because of starvation. And nobody's not saying there's not suffering in Gaza, and we all want to eliminate the suffering in Gaza. But as you just said, the suffering is because of Hamas. The suffering is because they have hostages they've held for almost 2 years now that they haven't returned, that they have deals that have been on the table where it just says, we will give you anything you want. Release the hostages, de-arm, leave the country. And they still haven't accepted these deals. And yet the world still says, no, it's Israel that didn't deliver the aid. It's Israel that hasn't negotiated in a fair way, when it's completely backwards. There's aid sitting in Gaza. We saw these pictures, at least those of us who see this stuff on social media, we saw the pictures of the aid that's rotting in the sun on the Gaza side of the border that the United Nations has not delivered to the people of Gaza. And yet that's not the stuff that makes the news. The other stuff that Israel isn't allowing aid in makes the news when it's not true.
Because Hamas is great at propaganda. They know that the one thing, they're slick. They know the media takes their side. They're great at stealing the aid, not giving it to their own people. They're great at building tunnels. I've seen more stories about the aid from the left and the right than I saw about these tunnels, these hidden tunnels, and the rocket launches and the machines and all the deadly ammunition they've been building for years instead of feeding their people. That's what they're doing. But I want to go to this cut here. It's actually the CBS Evening News. This is really poor media reporting here, but it's what they're doing. Let's go to cut 8.
Overseas, the health ministry in Gaza said today the number of Palestinians killed in the war between Israel and Hamas has topped 60,000. And 3 United Nations agencies warned Gaza is on the brink of full-scale famine.
Food aid is being flown in from Amman, Jordan. Deborah Patta went along for a flight.
This Royal Jordanian Air Force plane is loaded with supplies for Palestinians. We flew with the team to airdrop the aid into Gaza, where nearly 150 people have died of starvation, according to the health ministry. Under intense international pressure, Israel has paused military operations for 10 hours a day in some areas to allow aid delivery by land and air.
Remember when the Iraq War, and I was thinking this 93, and there was this comical spokesperson, and he was for Big Bob Baghdad. It was a joke. And this is what CBS Evening News, supposed to be prestigious network news, and they're quoting the Gaza Health Ministry. Seriously, come on. What are your thoughts on that, Harry?
Gaza Health Ministry equals Hamas.
Right.
This is literally, they are quoting a terrorist organization. And not only CBS, I mean, you put that clip out there, but it's so many networks. I saw some number today that 98% of media are quoting Hamas as factual figures. They are a terrorist organization. They lie. This is their goal. They want to manipulate the truth. Yet these news organizations, these mainstream news organizations, literally quote them as if they're a country, a society that wants to only do good for their people. They literally are starving their own people. They put their main headquarters under mosques, under children's kindergartens, under schools, under hospitals. This is where they put their main stuff. And it's completely backward society we're living in right now, that's what they're quoting as if the sympathetic, and listen, again, I'll say it again, suffering is horrible. We don't want the Gazans to suffer. Nobody does. The Israelis don't want the Gazans to suffer. They offer help all the time. They are there trying to deliver aid. It's the Hamas who steals the aid from the Gazan people. So that suffering is a thing that they can then sell to the public, and the public is eating it up like there's no tomorrow.
And at the end of the week, last week, Steve Witkoff is there and Ambassador Huckabee, and they're going into the Gaza Strip, and let's see what they could do, because they've been trying diplomacy, trying to end this war, and they can't because Hamas is holding these chips, and they know if they end this war, they're done. We can't have Hamas living. We can't have Hamas. The only way this gets settled, there's no more Hamas. The Palestinian people need to be free by them, because Israel cannot live side by side with such a dictatorial regime. I want to show the photo that we were talking about earlier. Let's just show it for the audience. Show the New York Times photo. That's the fake photo.
Right.
But by the time you do
it's a real
catch up,
photo.
Yeah, when you do, by the time you do
but they listed it.
Go ahead.
Right. So the photo isn't fake. The photo is real. And by the way, the photo was cropped out so that their healthy brother, who's about 4 or 5 years old, it appears in the picture, is not starving. He looks healthy. And the New York Times did not add that piece to the picture. They cut that off. But it is a real picture of a child, again, that I believe he has cystic fibrosis. He has a muscular disorder. And that's why he looks the way he looks. Yet the New York Times labels this as starvation. And that's the problem with the picture, is that they're using these images to conjure up this false narrative that there's this famine, starvation that's taking place because of the Israeli side. And it's just completely not true.
Right. And then they put it on the front page. And by the time you have to do cleanup, it's probably on page C15. Nobody sees it, just a few activists like ourselves, right? So most of the world saying, oh, those terrible Jews, those Israel. And look what the media does again, right?
And so the apology, you talked about the apology was on their PR page, the New York Times Twitter PR page, which has about 88,000 followers, if I remember correctly. The New York Times main homepage on Twitter has 55 million followers. So their correction only reached at max 88,000 people, as opposed to the 55 million people that saw that picture initially, believing what they said about the famine.
Right. So they got what they wanted, to show Israel in a terrible light. And then when they were called out with the truth, they just said, oh, we did the apology, right? But that's not the true apology.
Well,
you shove it in the little PR page and you reach a little tiny bit. I want to go to this other cut.
Even if they put it on their 50, yes, go ahead.
Good. I want to go to this other cut. It's CBS ignoring the stealing of the aid. Watch this. Cut 9.
Crates of food intended to provide aid just sit miles away, unreachable on the other side of the border. That's according to more than 100 aid groups. They signed a letter claiming Israeli restrictions are leading to mass starvation. And Avril, it's good to see you. So you just heard the Israeli prime minister there. He says it's a lie. What's your response?
Well, what Israel is saying, what the authorities are saying, is just not credible. And we have more than 1,000 staff, 35 of them international. We are working in several hospitals, clinics, field hospitals. What we are seeing and experiencing on the ground is that there isn't enough food. It's a deliberate strategy of this war to starve people in Gaza, to deprive them of the necessities of life. It's a genocide that is not only withholding food, but also clean drinking water, also the fuel we need to run electricity for hospitals, and medicines, of course. So it's a component.
Ari, when are we going to see the segments about Hamas stealing the food, not allowing their own citizens to get the food? This is such propaganda. I'm so sick of it, but it's never ending against Jews in Israel, right?
Never ending. And you put somebody like Doctors Without Borders, which sounds like such a nice organization, right? And this woman who represents them is talking about a genocide, another lie to the extreme, that's being perpetrated by somebody who's has credibility. And CBS puts her on as if, as if she knows what's taking place there when she's not on the ground. She doesn't see what's going on. Yet we see the images of that aid that she talked about sitting on the Gazan side. Like, I don't know what she's saying. She's lying. The aid is sitting there waiting to be distributed to the Palestinian people, to the Gazan people. Right. And it has not been picked up by the UN. And when it was finally picked up by the UN, by the way, they have videos of the aid being looted. Literally, they have videos of the aid being looted as soon as it entered, which was the fear that would take place if it even tries to get in there, because Hamas takes it immediately, then resells it at a 400% markup to their own people. Like, where is the news story on that? Where is the outrage on that?
Ari, I got to go. Where do people find your Instagram?
My Instagram is Ari Acker, ARIACKER.
A word from our partner at Hotel Planner. Are you frustrated with how confusing it is these days to find and book a good hotel for yourself, your family, or for your large group events? Our friends at Hotel Planner have a cutting-edge hotel booking platform that's easy to navigate, is AI-powered, has over 1.4 million global partners across all platforms. Go to Hotel Planner. I want to thank our Fran and Erin in the control room, Dave Zier for joining us, Ari Ackerman, mayoral candidate Joseph Fernandez, and Martha Bennett of Fame. See you next week on Media Exposed.
Hey, did you find the manual? Yes, of course I found it. No, I need that.
Summon Dale.
Who's Dale?
A real human.
I'm Dale. American Home Shield now provides video chat with live repair experts for home fixes over the phone. Let's go fix that oven.
Okay, Dale.
I need my phone back. Fix it over video chat with American Home Shield. Sign up today at ahs.com.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something in the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says This one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens